Is it really possible to eat yourself well? It's quite a claim, I know, but I have to say yes, because I've done it myself and I've seen countless people do it as well. And so in this video, I'm going to share some of the arguments that made me consider changing my diet, and maybe they can help for you too. My name is Louise and I'm from FruityLou.com, and I will try to share some of my new understanding and, as I said, the arguments that work for me. And I must admit, this is not going to be very scientific, and to be honest, I used to listen to a lot of scientific studies, but after a while I just realized that you can prove that egg is healthy and you can prove it's unhealthy. You can prove that red wine is healthy and it is unhealthy. That coffee is healthy, it's unhealthy. And I just gave up, basically. It all depends on who made the studies, and now I just reached that point where I'm going to look at what works for people instead. What worked for me, what works for other people is what I talk about, basically. So can you get results? Definitely, I don't doubt it for a second. The body is amazing. It's all about eating a diet that's full of fruits and veggies, and raw in the right ratios. And in this video, I'll try to explain a little bit about why it works, and here are the arguments that work for me. So one is that it is really easy to digest. So the body is not using as much energy on the digestion process, and that means there's more energy for healing. And you know this when you sit down and have a big Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner, and you just feel really, really heavy afterwards. You just want to go to bed. You don't feel like going for a jog. And basically your body is diverting the energy into digesting instead of just having fun and run around. And so you can see how the food is affecting your energy. Another argument that helped me go pretty raw or fully raw was that the body can recognize it. So whenever you heat something, the molecular structure is changed, and somehow the body seems to have a rougher time figuring out what's happening here. And also a lot of nutrients are lost in the process. So one thing that I found very curious is that we're actually the only animal on this planet that heats its food. Everybody else eats it raw. And why is that? I know it tastes better, but it just doesn't make sense from a nutritional point of view. And I just realized that when we eat more raw, the body actually likes it a lot better. And now that we're talking about animals, one other thing I thought about was that, isn't it curious that we have all these different species and categories of animals in the world, and they all eat kind of a specific diet. So you have the birds, and they're kind of eating their type of diet. You have two categories of birds, the ones eating insects and worms and seeds and fruit, berries or something like that. And then you have the animal eating birds that prey on mice or other little rodents like that. But then you have cow-like animals, and they all eat stuff on the ground, and horse-like animals, they all eat stuff that's on bushes and on the ground as well. And then you have the cat-like animals that eat meat. And so I was thinking, what category do we humans fit into? And we're primates. So in the primate category, we have the animal flesh-eating monkeys, and the more vegetarian, vegan monkeys. And so the ones that we're the most similar to are the large tailless monkeys, like the bonobos, the chimpanzees, the gorillas. And so what do they eat? Well, they eat about 50 to 60% fruit, about 30 to 40% of leafy greens. They actually chew about 6 hours a day on leafy greens, and then 10 to 15% other things, and that could be blossoms, bark, seeds, tiny little insects, and some other little monkey or something. But they don't eat the meat for nutrition as such. It's more like territorial reasons. or yeah, I think they eat like a maximum of 9 days a year they eat meat, and it's nothing that's like the chimpanzees. And so it's not the majority of their diet, and some don't eat hardly any. So the human race must be capable of eating a diet that's very similar to the category that we're like the closest to. That's just a thought there. Another argument that worked for me when I first started out was that, well, you have to get the right conditions. So imagine yourself as a plant in a pot in your living room. That plant needs the right amount of water, the right amount of sunshine, fresh air, healthy soil, you know. So if it gets too little water or sunshine or no nutrients in the soil, it's gonna like just go really weak and die at the end and get a lot of like pests. So you have to really give it the ideal nourishment to make it bloom, but then it can really, really bloom. And I think it's the same with the humans, and we just haven't figured out really what are the right conditions to make us bloom, and when we do, we really bloom, and then we can overcome the pests or whatever we have in our body as well, just like the plant. Well, our immune systems are getting a lot stronger. And finally, it's like the body can repair itself, and we forget this. We think that we have to take this magic pill to cover up the symptoms and then we feel better. But when we cut ourselves, the wound is closed by the body. When we break an arm, the break is healed by the body. It's not the bandage, it's not the doctor, it's nobody else but the body itself that's healing it. And we forget that it has this amazing power, but most of the time we're just the body is so busy doing other things, trying to get rid of pollutants or stress, working with stress or bad food it doesn't know how to deal with, whatever. And so the energy for healing is just way less. And I think or at least that's what I experience and see other people experience, that when they change into these ideal conditions, diet-wise, lifestyle-wise, suddenly the body just has a lot more energy for healing. So yeah, that was what I had for you today, and I hope you enjoyed it, got a little bit of inspiration. If you want more inspiration, sign up to my newsletter at my webpage, FruityLou.com, and then you will also get my top 5 tips for getting well naturally. And that was it for now, so take care, have a brilliant day, and see you in another video.
If you would like to know more about how I got well naturally, you can go to my website and get more information. Here you can get a Get Started guide where I tell you all about the diet and lifestyle that I used, and you can also download my top 5 tips totally free. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.